Welcome to the Inside Silverstone podcast, a business-focused podcast covering all things tech, engineering and innovation. Hosted by me, Chris Broome, a huge tech, motorsport and gaming fan, and also the owner of Longhurst, a firm of lifestyle financial planners and independent financial advisors located in Silverstone, Northamptonshire. This is a series of unscripted and unpolished conversations with leading business owners, thought leaders and high-tech talent where we discuss their experiences within the Silverstone business and motorsport region. We will also be asking them to share their knowledge, insight and their thoughts on the future just for you. If you're looking to learn more about the Silverstone high growth region and commercially connect with like-minded peers, you've definitely come to the right place. Welcome to Inside Silverstone. Welcome to the next edition of Inside Silverstone. My name is Chris Broome and I am your host. Today I am delighted to welcome back to the show good friend of ours, Marcus Trofimov from Silverstone Composites. Marcus, welcome back to the show, mate.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks for having us. Excited to be on again.
Yeah, dude. You know, you're on the pod a few episodes ago. We did a fantastic Oxford Brookes Racing focused pod, which we will be coming on to a bit during this session, so we'll be talking about Oxford Brookes, but we appreciate your time and coming back on. This is a special COVID catch-up series where we are clearly just catching up with folk to see how they're getting on during COVID, life within, in your context, sort of motorsport, F1, engineering, etc., and sort of life moving forward. So the first question that I've got is, and actually this is a question I think for those listening to the pod who may not know what composites are, you know, what is it that your business does?
So Silverstone Composites, in a nutshell really, is we're a service provider to predominantly at the minute motorsport, automotive and other sectors, and we produce high-end carbon fibre composite components or any composite material fabrics that we can use to what our customer requirement needs, but predominantly it's mostly carbon fiber. So we started off as making parts to build print process. So our clients come to us and they say, can you make this product using this process, this material, and this is the specification required? And we'll go, yep, no worries, and we'll charge some labor and we'll send the part back and tickety-boo. We've now evolved into a company where we are now a single source solution. So where our clients come to us and actually go, we've got this product, but we feel that internally we haven't got the processes, all the resources at the minute to focus on developing this product further. So then they allow us to do it. So we take that product on for them. We develop and engineer new processes and ideas and thought, and then we manufacture that component and give it back to them. But then also educate that customer to then understand what we've done. So for future products, they have a sort of an understanding on how to manufacture that part moving forwards, and adapt that process internally into other aspects of their vehicle or sports equipment or anything it may be. And then the composites aspect of we do, so going back to your original question, is that the fact is we take something which is a raw material, we mold it and shape it into a product, and then we post-process it once it's been cured in our autoclave, which is a big pressurized oven. Yeah. We remove it from the mold, then we post-process it, we trim and finish the component, and then deliver to client.
So what type of component? So for a complete layman, so what would that, yeah, what could it be? With it,
so in terms of, let's do layman terms in terms of a vehicle on the road. That could be front fenders, bonnets, bumpers, wing mirrors, and then interior parts. You're seeing a lot of carbon fiber nowadays in terms of interior trims to make things look either the sexy aspect of carbon, but also reduce the weight, which is the engineering aspect of it. And then also the biggest factor now moving forward, which is the most current aspect, is electric vehicles. Probably most electric vehicles now are looking to save weight. So carbon fiber or composite materials are being used all over the vehicles to optimize that weight saving, so then they can get that battery range from their vehicles. So that's sort of the layman terms. And then going into sort of high performance, so if you see a race car, again, bonnet, bumper grills, wing mirrors, things like that, rear wings of vehicles. And then Formula One, it can be any aspect of the bodywork on the car, all the internal gubbins, so bracket supports, holdings, the front wing, the rear wing, which every part that you see most on an F1 car is made up of a composite component in one way or the other.
And that would have been produced by a business like yours?
Correct, or internally at the customer.
Okay.
Would also do it as well.
Okay, and so just focusing on F1. So we're part of the Silverstone Technology Cluster, part of Silverstone Park as such, or the community around it, and you're involved with F1. So presumably you work with, I know that you work with obviously F1 teams or those involved with that. How's it been? Because the F1 season obviously was sort of paused, and then it went live. It's a condensed season, 2 races at certain circuits. How does that impact you as a business? Presumably you just get hit with, we need this built, we need this designed, we need it yesterday, etc., etc.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting season for us. It's been a very nervy one at the start of the year. We thought, right, we're going to go start racing, and as March was almost the first race, and everybody knows in Australia was, nope, we're not going racing because of the COVID situation. So then the foreseeable future wasn't really looking good. So a lot of our clients who are involved in F1 sort of put pause on spending any money until they could see a clearer picture. But thank God F1 was phenomenal for the whole situation and actually put together a race calendar. I don't think without them, how many businesses in the UK would have been upset if they didn't.
Yeah.
And we're really grateful for the effort that they've put in. And for us now, it's phenomenal. I think the race has been some of the best we've ever seen this season, with the crashes and damages. But also the fact that they're back to back, so the teams are working really hard around the clock they're going from one circuit to the next. So demand on suppliers, but demand on F1 in general has only just increased because they haven't got time now to develop products and stuff. It just has got to be done. But also it's been an evolving calendar. So only a few races got released, and then the calendar's just grown to, I think it's up to 18 races now, and I think we've got 7 left. And you think, well, normally we're sort of winding down. Normally the spares are there. They've already been built from previous seasons. When this is not the case, all these guys are still pushing now to the very end to win, hopefully some good valid points or win the championship. So we have seen the demand increase. They're also still pushing the boundaries as always. And as supplier, we have to react as quickly as we possibly can, which has been hard because not knowing the future and having people on furlough, etc. here, we can positively say that we're returning all staff from the 1st of October back to where they were in the beginning of March, which is really good.
Nice.
So yeah, F1's been phenomenal to us, but also all our other clients that we deal with have been just as good. They've been waiting and pushing hard, equally just the same as us. So it's been really good.
Good. And sort of focusing on F1, but actually taking it back to sort of the next generation, those coming up through the ranks. As I mentioned at the beginning of the pod, you came on a mastermind session where we spoke about Oxford Brookes Racing. So for those that haven't watched that yet, and if you haven't, I recommend you go back a couple of episodes and find it. And certainly the YouTube video is exceptional, especially with Joe Jones, who was a sort of former student of Oxford Brookes, now at William Advanced Engineering. Just explain and introduce what Oxford Brookes Racing does, why it's important, and why Silverstone Composites are involved in it. Yeah,
so I think the biggest reason, but the reason why Oxford Brookes has got a former student going is to give opportunity to students to understand that most of these guys and students want to go off and be involved in the motorsport. So they've got an awesome opportunity at their university to actually build a car, and it's for the former student program. So they get a nice little budget at the start of the year, but also need to raise their own money. And from that, they need to build a car from scratch, i.e. exactly like F1 would do. So they're almost getting hands-on experience building a vehicle from start to finish before they've even gone into the real world, which is fantastic. It's an incredible opportunity to do. And it only grows their skill set. So they're a little bit more better prepared going into the real world of Formula One or high-end automotive or motorsport, etc. And we recognised that early on, that Oxford Brookes wasn't just a university that we could just support with materials and fabrics. They were willing to learn and share their knowledge just as much we were willing to share with them. So we've now took it upon us that we want to support them through pretty much every program they have moving forwards. And that technically, and we rephrased this in the podcast, is that we're engineering the future. We're giving the future generation the knowledge and the skill sets they require. So when they go into those F1 teams or high-end automotive, they're not just put in the deep end and just get told to crack on and move on. They're going to have a great understanding. And the more we can do as a supplier, or other sponsors can do now at the early stages where they're learning the most, they're absorbing all this information the most, the better opportunities they're going to have internally. But also, because you're supporting them, naturally, they feel that you've supported them through there. And how the cycles works is, and if we help one another, we see the return come back our way. And it's already worked. We've had a couple of students that left a couple of years ago in RBR 19, which is Oxford Brookes Racing 19 car, and they've actually gone off to a racing team, and actually now we're seeing designed products from those students physically come to Silverstone Composites, and we're now manufacturing their parts.
Nice.
And that for me is just like, it's just, yeah, it's phenomenal. And the guys have actually come back. So the OBR 21 vehicle, which is just now a carry on from OBR 20 because it paused because of COVID, although some of those students have actually returned from work placement. So the OBR 19 have all come back, and now they've come back. We had a meeting last week to discuss how we're going to get OBR 21 up and running at a good stage, because Oxford Brookes is still limited to, Oxford Brookes University is still limited to allowing students back in. So we're saying, well, actually, you could probably get most of the stuff done over in here. We've got a unit across the road from us, which is completely just theirs. They've got 4 students that are going to be coming in, social distancing, etc., and they can still get that project moving. So by this time, probably in January next year, they're going to be really far ahead with that program. And if they don't, hey ho, at least they've managed to push on with the project, etc. And we are going to continue to support them moving forwards, and just keep telling this story, just to get other people involved, other sponsorships, other companies, because it's only going to engineer the future of our generation, which is
I think it's fantastic. And the
really
fact
good.
that you've already seen, as you said, a positive return in that, these guys and girls have gone off into teams or organizations, and then turn around and said, actually, we know some good guys at Silverstone Composites who can actually help us design this and produce it.
Yeah,
proof's in the pudding. And as I mentioned, Joe Jones, it's a solid name, Joe Jones, who we interviewed as part of the mastermind session. He's gone off now and joined Williams Advanced Engineering, and he's an incredibly bright young man who's going to have a phenomenal career ahead of him. And so,
and that's the thing. That's just one. That's one team member that you've met. But I mean, all of them are like it. It's unbelievable. They're all just enthusiastic as Joe. They all want the same result. They're all just out to learn and achieve their best, and it's so refreshing to see. That it's just phenomenal, and to be able to support it and have a smidgen of input into it, it's even nicer. So
yeah, good. We're both part of the Silverstone Technology Cluster.
Yeah.
Silverstone Composites and Longhurst, and so
that's how we met.
That's how we met. How important is the community, and what sort of partnerships have been sort of born from it, and what's your hopes for the future?
So we joined STC fairly early on when it started, and we just loved concept from pretty much from the day dot. We're a big believer in collaboration and sort of trading off and helping each other where we can, supporting it. And STC just brought that model straight into an environment where it's really required. There's so many skill sets in this area that 90% of people don't even know about. So to have sort of a hub where people can go to and go, oh, actually, I don't suppose you know somebody, and straight away, all the team members at STC will go, well, yeah, they're just there, they're next door to you. Oh, and this is the thing. But all the relationships and things that we've developed from it is you, Chris. We met you through there, and you've been phenomenal support through many things that we've been doing together over the past few months. We've met Makar Additive, who are also an equal member. We're doing a lot of projects together now, and we're developing some really exciting processes, up and coming technologies, which haven't even seen in market yet. Yeah. We do with EMW. They've supported us a couple of things, which are key members of STC. Cottons, They're in also now our key accountants, content accountants. So phenomenal. They've been really good. Made our transition from what we had before, from Sage and things, to Zero. It's been really good. Team have took that on board, and we've seen that sort of progression in the company already. And then we've got KW Special Projects, so getting another good key member. We do lots of them with them. They help with a lot of design work because it's not sort of our strength, so we sub that out. Also, then they transfer some work back, which is the composites bit, so we do that for them. So yeah, and that's just to name a few. There's a longer list of things that we've already picked up on, but also is we need to promote this even more. And this podcast tells this message that as individuals, we can say what we're saying, but also we just need to keep promoting it, because the more people that get involved, the better STC is going to become, but also all the other companies are going to become even better.
I've got your wife calling me.
Oh, typical.
So this is going to be, I don't know, it's presumably something to do with the house purchase.
Probably, yeah. No doubt.
You obviously didn't tell her you're doing a pod with me today.
No.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. It's so yeah, I just think, and they just need to keep pushing, and they've been phenomenal. I have to say again, they've been phenomenal through this COVID situation, keeping us up to date with every aspect, every element of key aspects of us running our business from day to day, where we haven't got maybe the skill sets internally to figure out what the government's saying, the guidelines, and requirements. But also, I also know that hasn't just come from the STC itself, it's become from all the members. The members have been involved. They've offered support to STC, and the STC have then pushed that information in front of us to make our lives as business owners, or whoever it be, a lot easier. And still now we're still doing conferences and things pretty much weekly now with the STC, which is it's phenomenal. And
no, I think it's a phenomenal community. You know, Pim, who's CEO, and his support team, Jackie and Joe, have been phenomenal at organising events, pushing out communications, and then fully supported by other members who have been providing that information to be pushed out. So yeah, for those listening to this who aren't part of Silverstone Technology Cluster, or indeed even part of Silverstone Park, highly recommend that you Google, connect, consider potentially joining or partnering up, because
definitely,
as Marcus has so eloquently put, there's a number of relationships that have just born out of it, which is led to, frankly, you guys not just surviving COVID, but thriving, which is a fantastic story. Marcus, I'm going to start closing this down, buddy, because I know you're busy. Yeah. I've got to call your missus back. How I can help. 2 closing questions, both of which I actually asked you in the mastermind session, but we're going to do them again for fun.
Yeah.
So the first question is post-COVID. So it's 2021. We've had our injections. Bar spending more time with me. What else are you looking forward to doing the most?
So as you well know, we're about to move house. So move house, get settled in there, get a few things done in that new house, and settle with the family, and get the kids settled in their new school. Also just keep pushing with the business, keep everybody happy in the business, keep growing those strong relationships with new companies and existing. A nice holiday would be nice little break, just for a few days would be nice.
You need to host us all for a barbecue in your new house.
Exactly, once we've had the injection. And then just keep enjoying life and keep pushing on and just be happy.
Hallelujah. Love it. Final question. This is the most important question you're ever going to get asked in your life, Marcus. I have, I've spanned the world. I've traveled and met masters and gurus and top of Nepalese mountains to ask and learn this question.
Yeah, I'm nervous by it.
Okay, so second time you've been asked. Drum roll. My screen is wobbling. What is the king of crisps?
So you asked me this before, and it was a bit, when I answered it before, it was a bit of like, it shocked me. But I've been thinking about it ever since that episode. And for me, it's Doritos. Doesn't matter what flavor it is. It's just a great crisp.
Just
I'm not trying to get any promotion from Doritos or Walkers, whatever it is. It's the delicious crisp. You just
Other
can't.
brands are available, but
of course.
We need to. I'm not going to let you off the hook there. What flavor Doritos is the best?
I would say Cool Original.
I love Cool Original, but I'm a big fan of cheesy Doritos.
Tangy cheese, and that's the thing. if you put all three in front of me, I'd just eat them all.
I'd just be ruthless. I'd go through them all. Excellent. Marcus Trofimov from Silverstone Composites, thank you so much for being a good sport and coming back on the show. Solo interview, promoting obviously the great things Silverstone Composites are doing. For those listening to this, if you want to find out more about Silverstone Composites, links will be in the show notes. Also, I'll make sure there's an Oxford Brookes racing link in there as well, because we've obviously touched on that. So if you are somebody that's considering from a student perspective wanting to get involved with motorsport, etc., Oxford Brookes is a great place to consider going. They've got a fantastic race sort of program there, which Silverstone Composites support, sponsor, educate and promote. Highly endorse it. Marcus, I'm going to phone your missus now, find out what's going on with the matches. You've been a good sport. Thanks for coming on, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon, my friend.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you very much. Take care.
The Inside Silverstone podcast is produced by the team at Longhurst for the benefit of those with a passion for all things tech, engineering and innovation. For more information, please visit longhurst.co.uk/Inside Silverstone, whilst also remembering to give us a 5 out of 5 star rating on iTunes. Please note that neither Chris Broome or Longhurst work for Silverstone Park, Silverstone Circuit or Silverstone Technology Cluster.